That's when I came back, I'd already, because of having done education also, I started teaching at Regi Teachers College. But my interest was now in foreign relations because of my interest which I had built and the training I went through in Fribourg in Switzerland. And at that time, before independence in 1963, a lot of our colleagues in the college, I was still young, they were applying for various jobs in the government. Teachers were also going out to join the government because the Europeans were leaving and the posts were available. So they wondered why I was not applying. I waited until the election, the independence on 12th of December 1963, and immediately after the Independence Day, I think about 2 or 3 weeks later, I read in the newspapers that they were advertising for those who can apply for position in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which was that time called External Affairs Branch, Office of the Prime Minister. Mzee Jomo Kenyatta was a Prime Minister, as you know, at that time. So the External Affairs Branch was under the Prime Minister. So I applied and called for interview at the Public Service Commission. And then towards the end of February, I got information, invitation to I actually got a letter that I would have started. I got the letter, it was on a Thursday, that's a day I should have reported to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I took the time because it came by email. So I left the same night on Thursday, arrived in Nairobi on Friday morning.
Now there is a bus service.
Yes, it was a bus service from I was teaching at the Regi Teachers College in Kakamega area. So I then reported to duty, and I went back to the college to take leave of the college, and returned to Nairobi for about 5 days or so. And from there we were sent again straight away to what used to be at that time Kenya Institute of Administration, now Kenya School of Government, for a course, very intensive course in diplomacy and a bit of international relations, but mainly diplomacy, general diplomacy. We were about 7 of us who were recruited at that time. But I found others who had already been recruited before independence. People like Robert Ouko, who was our permanent secretary. There are quite a number of us whom I found there, about 8 or 10, who had already been recruited quietly before independence. And were trained, they were not just good, but were trained in other embassies in Europe, particularly in European embassies. They were they were already trained in diplomacy and international relations, very established diplomats. So after that, we were.
Cut you short. I just want nowadays, there's some things that we, as the younger generation, don't understand about job applications. Because nowadays, it's usually just go to the internet, upload your CV.
Yeah. No, that.
How was job application back?
No, that one used to, but the newspapers on the Friday papers was used to carry announcements, advertisements for positions in the government and anywhere. Friday papers. So most of us have tried 5 newspapers, both the Nation and the Standard. And that's why you get an announcement, and then of course you apply directly by letter. Yes, write a letter.
Typewriter.
No, write by hand. You didn't have a typewriter. Write by hand, applying. Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was the position that time, and then of course during holidays at university, we were not paying anything. It was we are really free. We are not paying, and we are also being paid every month.
What is called boom?
A boom, yes. We are getting a boom every month, and during the holidays, we were also working. Since I was doing architecture, I used to be employed in the Ministry of Works, in the buildings branch. Yeah. So during the holidays of 3 months, you also earn some income. Yes.
How much are you getting paid in
It wasn't much. I think it must have been about maybe 600 shillings, I think. About 5 or 600 shillings a month. It was not quite a lot of money. Yes.
And boom was how much?
Boom was 30 shillings, 300 shillings, I think. No, it wasn't 300 shillings. It was about 30. It wasn't much. But it was able to, I can't remember how it was, but we were able to pay ourselves. We were able to go to film, cinema.
Okay.
Yes, and we were able to travel around, I can't remember what it was, but it wasn't much, but it was enough at that time.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. So and then of course after leaving, the of course, diplomacy, we went back to the Ministry of External Affairs branch, which was based now at Harambe House at that time, and for induction within the ministry now, various divisions. And I was then posted to London. Now I had not married. I was engaged already. Young as I was already engaged. I was paying dowry already. So I told the Permanent Secretary, Robert Ouko, that I cannot travel to you. I was posted to London. That I would ask whether I could stay in Nairobi until December, because I had planned to marry around November. So he told me, you go, and you come back and marry later. But if you come back, it will be at your own expense. Yes, I was required urgently. Now, that gave me a challenge. But Dr. Oko was very good, very understanding of my situation. He told the head of the human resource section that I had not earned much leave. But since I wanted to marry before I go, and my absence from work should not be questioned, because I'd be busy organizing my wedding, which I did. And I married on the 6th of June, and 7th of June, 7th June 1964, and left 2 weeks later to London. My wife was a student also at River College doing education. She remained behind for some months and joined me later after I had left Russia. So that's how I started my service. Yeah,